Hello, East End, and welcome to East End News on LTV. We bring you hyperlocal headlines through the power of public access television. I'm Galen Davey. This is your community and your news. Many healthcare providers across our region are increasingly concerned about cuts to Medicaid funding at the national level. Here's what we know.
Healthcare in America is in limbo as the federal government shutdown and measures such as President Trump's so-called Big Beautiful Bill take their toll. And caught in the crosshairs are medical providers on the East End, including Planned Parenthood and Stony Brook Medicine. Planned Parenthood has been cut off from Medicaid, a program that serves hundreds of thousands of low-income people across New York State and millions more in other parts of the country. Planned Parenthood has long been targeted by conservatives because it provides abortion care, but what people might not know is its range of services is much wider, including STI testing, birth control prescriptions, and other routine screenings and services.
So the impact on a national level is going to be devastating. Probably we'll see over 200 health centers across the country close over the next couple weeks and months. Just due to the amount of funding that the services provided to Medicaid patients. On a local level for Planned Parenthood Hudson-Peconic, we've been preparing for this moment. And because of our operational efficiency and fiscal responsibility, we'll be able to weather this storm for a little while, but we will not be able to weather this long term. So we will need some intervention at the state level.
Meanwhile, Stony Brook Medicine, encompassing hospitals in Southampton, East Hampton, and Greenport, and dozens of affiliated medical practices, is bracing for a wave of uninsured patients in the wake of Medicaid cuts, impacting a critical program in New York called the Essential Plan. In a statement, officials said that Stony Brook Medicine expects a loss in revenue across our hospitals due to reductions in Essential Plan coverage. As a safety net hospital system, we remain committed to providing care for all patients, regardless of insurance status or ability to pay. Governor Kathee Hochul has slammed Republican lawmakers for allowing this to happen. In a recent statement, she said, "The big, ugly bill forced through by Donald Trump and Republicans puts every single one of them at risk of losing their care. It doesn't have to be this way. If Republicans give a damn about protecting health care for their constituents, they can act right now." The East Hampton Healthcare Foundation also anticipates an impact. This organization supports local patients who have trouble paying for health care through generous donations from the community.
Well, we're feeling very frustrated about it because we would like to be able to make some real plans. We don't know how the foundation is going to be affected by what's happening, although we can imagine that as Medicaid funds get cut back and plans are dropped in New York State, we will have to fill in the space that the state ordinarily would take on.
I do want to be sure that those Medicaid patients know that our doors are open. We welcome them to come in and we'll provide them care no matter what, and they will not have to worry about billing on that aspect.
In East Hampton, this is Christine Sampson reporting for East End News on LTV.
Who dug up the largest clam in East Hampton Town? The Trustees held their 34th annual Largest Clam contest on Sunday to determine just that. Here's how it went.
Hi, this is Chrissy Sampson from East End News on LTV. We are here at the Amagansett Life Saving Station for the East Hampton Town Trustees' 34th annual Largest Clam contest. We are going to experience everything about marine culture here in East Hampton Town. I have never touched a scallop before that hasn't already been cooked for me. It's a very educational experience. It's a lot of fun. As you can see, it's packed. The weather is gorgeous. And the competition is on for the largest clam, an adult division and a youth division. Can't wait to see who wins. I'm here with Barley Dunn of the East Hampton Town Shellfish Hatchery, and we've got a live marine touch tank exhibit going on here. Barley, can you tell us a little bit about what we're seeing here?
Yeah, we're looking at all the local flora and fauna. We have all of our three main shellfish species: hard clam, eastern oyster, bay scallop. We've got some crabs, some of our local seaweeds. Yeah, I think it's great for people to learn what is out in our harbors, all these animals and these seaweeds.
What is your name?
Ermela.
And what do you think about the marine touch tank today? What are you learning here?
I learned that it's like they're all different textures of clams and like shells, and like the seaweed is really nice.
I'm about to taste some New England clam chowder, and I know it's going to be amazing because all clam chowder is amazing, right? So here we go. Oh, it's great. Oh my gosh. The right balance of clam and chowder and vegetables.
You know, the cameraman's got to get some chowder too. Oh, that's really good.
Shout out to whoever made this one.
And this is it, folks, the moment we've all been waiting for. The overall winner of the largest clam contest of the East Hampton Trustees 2025 from that Pig Harbor is Susan Seslow. Let's put it together. 2 pounds, 5.1 ounces. That is a behemoth of a clam. Oh my gracious, you can make 5 chowder pots out of that. Thank you, Susan. Holy smokes, that's a big clam.
All right, there you have it, folks. The winners of the 2025 largest clam contest in East Hampton Town. I'm Christine Sampson reporting for LTV's East End News in Amagansett.
For the first time in its over 120 years of history, the East Hampton Library will be used as a polling place for the Election Day on November 4th. The Baldwin Room, on the library's lower level, will be outfitted with multiple voting machines and fully staffed with poll workers and supervisors while voting takes place. The library director, Dennis Fabisak, has confirmed that 2 children's programs had to be relocated and 1 adult program canceled to make room for the election. This change applies to voters within 3 election districts, Districts 5, 11, and 16. Voters in these districts previously cast their ballots at the East Hampton Emergency Services Building. East Hampton Village Administrator Marcos Baladron told East End News on Sunday that the village had not yet received this information directly from the Suffolk County Board of Elections. "That's the first I heard of that," Baladron said in response to our inquiry. The Board of Elections did not respond to a request from comment as of press time this week. You may have heard about those inflation refund checks coming your way in New York State. Governor Kathee Burke-Gonzalez announced that checks of up to $400 per household are being sent out now, but this information also comes with a warning. Watch out for scammers targeting your checks. Governor Hochul has advised that scammers are impersonating state agencies through phone calls, text messages, emails, and even the U.S. Postal Service to try and trick people into handing over sensitive information in order to receive their inflation refund checks. In reality, Governor Hochul said in her announcement, the state is not asking for any personal information from its residents in order to receive their checks. She encourages people to report these scammers to state authorities online via the state's website or by calling 518-457-0578. The governor said in a statement, quote, "By staying alert and knowing what to watch out for, you can reduce your risk of becoming a target." East Hampton Town taxpayers got their first glimpse last week of the 2026 operating budget proposed by Supervisor Kathee Burke-Gonzalez. In releasing the draft budget of about $109.9 million, Burke-Gonzalez said that it reflects, quote, community values. With a tax rate increase of about 5.8%, this is a plan that comes in above the state's limit on how large a percentage that a municipality can raise its taxes. That means it requires a supermajority of yes votes from the town board to be adopted. Taxpayers themselves will have a chance to share their opinions at upcoming public hearings at Town Hall. We'll keep you posted on those dates. Burke-Gonzalez states that the budget supports 5 key priorities for the town: protecting the environment and natural resources, keeping residents safe, supporting families, creating opportunities for young people, and ensuring open and transparent government. Included in the town budget is funding for several nonprofit organizations that reach deep into our community and lend a hand. East Hampton Town Supervisor Kathee Burke-Gonzalez stopped by LTV to tell us more about them in the first installment of our new segment, Sit down with the supervisor.
You're watching East End News on LTV, East Hampton Town's public access television provider. And now it's time to sit down with the supervisor, Kathee Burke-Gonzalez. Hi, everybody. Welcome to East End News on LTV, where we are sitting with East Hampton Town Supervisor Kathee Burke-Gonzalez for a monthly segment. Kathee, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Chrissy. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm excited to have a conversation with you today.
Yeah, we were just saying we've known each other for about 10 years now, and a lot's happened in 10 years and continues to happen.
Yeah, you were covering the beat of the spring school board back in the day, and that's where we first met.
So today I think we're going to talk about nonprofits and the role of nonprofit organizations in our town, because I know that there are quite a few groups, sort of not a governmental agency, but a community group.
Right.
Of all different stripes and needs, serving all different stripes and needs. So let's chat about some nonprofits.
Sure. So I appreciate having this conversation. So right now it's September 29th. Tomorrow, September 30th, I'm going to be releasing the 2026 budget, the tentative budget, and it's in some circles it's called the supervisor's budget, although I've taken a more collaborative approach and I've had input from my colleagues, and the salaries and benefits, that's a fixed cost. We have contracts with our town staff, but there is some funding where there's some discretion where we have the ability to support our not-for-profit partners, and we really couldn't do the work without their assistance.
Are you referring to the concept of a public-private partnership? Informally or formally, tell me about that.
It depends on the organization. For instance, we support our hardworking families, right? So and quality childcare is so critical. So we give grant funding to Eleanor Whitmore's Early Child Care Center. We give funding for Project Most. In fact, we just gave an emergency grant of $75,000 for their Montauk child care program because they had missed the grant cycle last year and we realized they needed to just close it up a little bit. So it's things like that. We also support projects that support the arts, like our fabulous variety show, who does a lot of events here, right, and works with, this more school-age children, as well as Neopolitical Cowgirls. Kate Muse got a program, and she's worked with middle school and high school students. It's programs like that, or Montauk Youth gets support. Then we also help with, there's a group in town called RSVP, and they actually, they're volunteers, and they call seniors that may be shut in so that they have some social contact and make sure it's kind of a wellness check and just catch up with things.
Are they new?
No, they've been around. I've been on the board 12 years, and we've been giving funding for them for that period of time.
Well, they need to get that message out there. That's amazing.
Yeah. And then there's programs like the food pantries, right? For the East Hampton Food Pantry, we, they use space on the town hall campus, and they run their program there on Tuesdays is when the collection day is, and we pay for their utilities. Or we give a donation to the Montauk Food Pantry and the Springs Food Pantry, which we're really seeing in Springs. I was having a conversation with Holly Wheaton. The numbers are going through the roof. We had... because I knew the budget was going to be coming out, and there are certain organizations that we give, a larger, more sizable contribution to. I had asked them to do town board presentations during the work session so community members could be more familiar with their work. And, I had said to Holly, please come and talk about the Springs Food Pantry, because I pass that line every Wednesday night when I go home. And she said after the presentation she did at the work session, 200 more people showed up because they're having issues making it work from paycheck to paycheck.
So we are coming up on budget season, town budget, and like we said, it's the first draft is due any moment, right?
Right.
What goes into preparing a town budget? I know there's got to be a lot of rising costs and demands and fixed costs and the nice to have things versus the need to have things. How do you arrive at a town budget?
So the budget starts, but the department heads start plugging in numbers in July. So it's really, there's a long lead time for this. So we kind of go through it, and it's a process that takes like another month. So August is meeting with department heads, and then September is trying to coalesce the budget to come to what we think is really right for us. And, I've said it since my school board days, is that the budget is really, it's a reflection of what the community values. It really defines who we are as a community, who we support.
Kathee, thank you so much for stopping by, and it was great to have you on the show. We'll see you again in a few weeks.
Yes, let's book October.
Sit down with the supervisor on LTV.
Thank you, Chrissy. Really appreciate it.
That was only a short piece of our conversation. You can find our full 24-minute interview with Supervisor Burke-Gonzalez on LTV's YouTube channel. Native trees and flowers aren't the only things growing and thriving in our local ecosystems. The organization Rewild Long Island is growing too. Let's take a look. In just its third year, the South Fork program of Rewild Long Island has grown from just 9 students to over 30 youth organizers and volunteers working together to restore the local environment. Partnering up with local organizations like Change Hampton, Share the Harvest, and the Springs Food Pantry, Rewild has maintained pollinator gardens, returned native plants to local community gardens, collected 4,000 pounds of food scraps for composting, and more, all while teaching local youth what it is like to work in ecology. On September 21st, organizers, students, their parents, and community members gathered at Matthew's Pollinator Garden to celebrate what these young environmentalists achieved over the summer. The students spoke of the friendships they made, the species they learned about, and the satisfaction they felt in helping their community. Galen Davey reporting in East Hampton for East End News on LTV. On Shelter Island, a special partnership is underway between the high school's science department and the town's water advisory committee. The issue at hand is the testing of well water for saltwater intrusion, an issue stemming from overuse of the aquifer on Shelter Island. The high school will conduct saltwater intrusion testing for free for residents willing to provide samples from their wells. In a statement announcing the service, the town said that living on an island surrounded by seawater poses challenges for supplying drinking water. Maybe you just might want to know how much seawater you're drinking. The website, shelterisland.gov, has all the details on how to take part in the community's effort. Over now to Hampton Bays, where the Municipal Water District has announced it will begin 2 weeks of water main flushing on the evening of October 14th. During that time, the district advises residents should check for the clarity of water before drinking, bathing, or cooking. If the water is discolored, residents should run it for several minutes to clear up any issues. If that doesn't occur, you should wait a while and then try again. The Water District says residents with questions or concerns can call the office at 631-728-0179 during the hours of 8 a.m. and 3:30 p.m. What are your plans for the week ahead? Our community calendar offers some options. Let's take a look.
Learn about East Hampton's amazing legacy of trailblazing women at the next installment of the Tom Toomey Lecture Series at the East Hampton Library. The talk takes place on Thursday, October 9th at noon. Registration is via the online event calendar at easthamptonlibrary.org. Friday, October 10th is Jazz Night at the Parish Art Museum. Guests can explore the library's current exhibits from 5 to 6 p.m. before Khalil Kwame Bell and his ensemble take the stage at 6. The cafe will be open for food and drinks. ParishArt.org has all the details and tickets. Happy 20th birthday to the Children's Museum of the East End. The museum's own birthday bash takes place on Saturday, October 11th from 10 a.m. to noon. Celebrate with activities, crafts, and cupcakes. Registration is online at seeme.org. Also on Saturday, October 11th, the Springs Food Pantry's annual Chow to Chow Down happens at the Springs Tavern and Grill from noon to 3 p.m. Endless servings of chowder from local restaurants goes hand in hand with live music as a fundraiser for the food pantry, because no one should have to choose between rent and food. Tickets can be found online at springsfoodpantry.com.
We'll end today's show with a huge shout-out to the East Hampton and Bridgehampton combined varsity football team. Ronick football is the talk of the town after their big win, 45-7, over Smithtown West High School this past Saturday. Jai Feaster was a monster on the field with 9 carries for 145 yards and 2 touchdowns. He also stepped in as quarterback when East Hampton's starter suffered an injury. East Hampton was widely seen as the underdog, but it handed Smithtown West its only loss of the season so far. Both teams are now tied in League 3 with a 3-1 record. Thanks for watching today's edition of East End News on LTV. I'm Galen Davey. We hope you'll tune in again next week. Bye for now.